If you ain't with us, you just gotta go. So now I'm in a position now where I'll be making some decisions in the days to come, because playing nice with other people who ain't about us, it's just a waste of exercise.
And we uncovered allegations of discrimination, harassment, and more.
In March 2024, Mayor Brandon Johnson tapped his longtime friend, Courtney Hudspeth, to lead it. She left less than 2 years later.
The office recommended the subject be terminated and placed on the no hire list. Lee is still working at City Hall.
Is it up to the mayor unilaterally?
It is. So the recommendation can be made and they can accept or deny the recommendation. In this case, they were the only agency to do that.
Denied. Sabrina, thank you.
And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, my people. You know that it helps us out a ton. And of course, it helps you because it helps us keep bringing you these stories every day. Now, y'all, over the past 7 days or so over the past week or so, your boy, Brandon Johnson, the illustrious sub 10% approval rating mayor of Chicago, he's had about 3 different corruption-related stories come out about him and his administration. So we're just going to group all of them together here so that you have them all in one place. And you really start to paint a picture of your boy, because when you take a look back earlier from months ago and maybe even years ago, you start to hold up now. Now this guy, he has a lot of dirt behind his political name, and I'm going to show y'all some of that today. And also, you already know ICE is still active in Chicago, and as we have said in many videos at this point, and we will continue to say, ain't nothing he could do. The illustrious sub 10% approval rating mayor of Chicago can do nothing. We're going to show you one of the more recent instances of ICE doing a raid at a daycare of all places today, y'all. So that is very emotional video. So I'm not going to do a big long lead in, y'all. First, we're going to start with this ICE raid at a daycare, and then we're going to show you how your boy has a lot of dirty deeds happening in his administration. Let's jump into it. But before we do, y'all, we are launching our official Patreon. So if you want to be a founding member on our Patreon, we have just 222 slots, y'all. If you want to be a founding member, go down, click the very first link in the description, and you're going to feel good about this, y'all, because believe it or not, we are an actual paralegal school, and we help people get their paralegal certificate and get working in the paralegal field. And all of the proceeds from our Patreon, when you enroll as a founding member, all of that is going to go to scholarships for people who would like to study at our institute, y'all. So click that first link down in the description. Join us as a founding member, y'all. This deal will not come back. Now let's get into the story.
Here outside of the Rito de Sal daycare after what happened this morning. We're told a teacher who seemingly has a work permit was followed in her vehicle to work, followed into the building and then strong-armed out of it. All of that happening in front of children.
As soon as I got here, I saw 2 cars. They had lights on. I was trying to figure out exactly what happened, and then I saw the teacher being dragged out and into the car. So immediately, obviously, I knew it must have been ICE.
This lady, one of the many parents trying to drop off a child this morning at the Rito de Sal daycare along Addison, met instead with the sound of screaming. As a young teacher was dragged out of the building by armed, camo-clad and masked men.
They went into the daycare with our kids there. Like, it's just, I am at a loss for words for the, again, audacity.
As those watching realised what was happening, the phones flipped on.
I was just thinking, like, what to do. Like, I know the first thing that I've heard, everyone's told me to record and report it. I've told a lot of my friends to share it on social media, on the videos, like just to let everyone know as soon as possible.
Some arguing with agents as they got back into their Texas registered vehicle and drove off.
It's just absolute terror. Like, why are you at a daycare at 7 in the morning? This isn't right. This isn't American. This isn't who we are. It's an absolute travesty.
Now, I will give my quick opinion on that, y'all. I think that the ICE raids at daycares, at churches, hospitals, places like that, it should only be done if you're going after somebody who is a true violent criminal. I mean, that's my opinion, you know. I don't think you should go after people who have low-level offenses or who you just know are in the country without permission. You can wait for them to leave. You can wait to catch them outside, right? You can wait till they drive a half mile away and catch him. So that's the way I see it. But of course, we don't know necessarily what this woman is accused of doing or what she's done. So I'm certainly not saying that this was inappropriate. I'm just giving my take on things in general. Now, y'all, let's jump into how your boy has had a lot of dirty deeds happening in his administration. But first, let me show you this. This was one of our first videos covering the illustrious sub 10% approval rating mayor of Chicago back in February. And do you remember when he so-called cleaned house in his administration? He's looking mighty dictatorish, y'all, by the way. He's like, yo, if you ain't with me, you gots to go. Doesn't that sound dictatorish to you? Let's take a look at this.
3 leaders in the Johnson administration are leaving. The comments left little room for ambiguity.
If you ain't with us, you just gotta go. So now I'm in a position now where I'll be making some decisions in the days to come, because playing nice with other people who ain't about us, it's just a waste of exercise.
The mayor was speaking Monday at New Covenant Missionary Baptist Church.
There's a whole bunch of people like, oh shoot, who's about to get fired? Well, you're about to find out, stay tuned.
Yesterday, the administration announced 3 top city department leaders are leaving. Chicago Aviation Commissioner Jamie Rhee announcing her retirement as O'Hare begins the construction of new terminals. She's led Chicago's airport since 2018 and has served the city for decades. The head of Office of Emergency Management and Communication, Jose Tirado, is transitioning out of his role, and the chief administrator of the Civilian Office of Police Accountability, Andrea Kirsten, resigning after 4 years on the job, overseeing that office that investigates police misconduct complaints and officer-involved shootings.
Morale in this building is lower than I've ever seen it right now.
Now let's take a look at a couple of the people he didn't get rid of. Now, in this next news piece, you're going to see a lady who resigned. She resigned just this week, just a couple of days ago. And you would wonder, why when the illustrious sub 10% approval rating mayor of Chicago, why when he was cleaning house, why wasn't this lady on the chopping block? When you see the types of things she's accused of having done, you say, it seems like now maybe it's because she was handpicked by him. You know, maybe he picked her by hand, and only after all of her alleged dirty deeds really came out to the public was she forced to resign. Let's take a look.
The city official in charge of some of Chicago's biggest festivals abruptly resigned. That same official we've been asking questions about for months.
NBC5 investigates requested documents related to Courtney Hudspeth, the former commissioner of the Cultural Affairs and Special Events known as DCASE. And we uncovered allegations of discrimination, harassment, and more. Our political reporter, Mary Ahern, joining us in the studio now to break down what happened. Marianne?
Allison and Stefan, Courtney Hudspeth is a year and a half as the head of DCASE was marked by turmoil. Back in April, we reported on the letter of concern from more than 100 artists. They were worried about her leadership. We now know in September, HR found Hudspeth violated city policy. She resigned less than 2 weeks later. The Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events, called DCASE, puts on Taste of Chicago, Blues Festival, and so many other big Chicago events. In March 2024, Mayor Brandon Johnson tapped his longtime friend, Courtney Hudspeth, to lead it. She left less than 2 years later and is now on the city's do not hire list. During her tenure, 29 employees left the department, including 7 deputy commissioners. Through an open records request, NBC5 Investigates learned HR began investigating in February. A former employee complained Hudspeth made, quote, humiliating and demoralizing comments about their culture. As DCASE prepped for city council budget hearings last year, Hudspeth asked the employee to wear, quote, traditional cultural clothes in council chambers and, quote, put on a thick accent so it's hard to understand you. Hudspeth later told HR those comments were a joke. Though the documents are heavily redacted, HR found she engaged in age-based harassment, telling an employee not to have gray hair when going to the 5th floor of City Hall, where the mayor's office is. Other claims include making comments about an employee's sexual orientation and disregarding their pronouns. HR investigated the claims and found that as a result, she violated the Equal Employment Opportunity Policy. When asked about comments Hudspeth made about her sex life, as well as asking about an employee's sexual preferences and whether they would have an affair with a married person, Hudspeth told HR the conversation happened prior to this person working for the city and called them a, quote, disgruntled employee.
And then you have his homeboy, who he also handpicked to be in position, that the inspector general said, you know, this guy has a dirty deeds. He needs to be fired, okay? The inspector general said, you need to let this guy go. But the illustrious sub 10% approval rating mayor of Chicago is resisting, even though typically when the inspector general makes this type of recommendation, the responsible parties will follow the inspector general's suggestions, but not if you're illustrious sub 10% approval rating. You know, you do whatever you want to do, and generally what you want to do, in my opinion anyway, is something that's not very good.
Our Sabrina Franzen spoke with Inspector General about these allegations against the mayor's top staffer, and she's here now. Sabrina.
Joe, this was very confusing for us. We actually just spoke to Jason Lee, the man in question here, Mayor Brandon Johnson's senior advisor and close confidant. About 2 years ago, Alderman Bill Conway filed a report with the Inspector General alleging that when he asked for help with an encampment in his ward, Lee tried to extort public safety services in exchange for Conway's vote.
Mr. Lee took me back into the coat room back here, and he said they would help me with this problem as long as I voted to raise the real estate transfer tax on the working families of this city and raise the tip credit. And once I didn't do those things, a clean out was canceled of this viaduct, and that was unfortunate.
Alderman Bill Conway takes us back about 2 years.
Is it normal for someone to pull a alderman into a coat closet to have a private conversation?
I have not heard it happening to anybody else.
When he filed a complaint with Chicago's Inspector General.
Much of our work is really designed to, or driven by the desire to shine a light into dark corners of City Hall. This is a conversation that we ought to be having in the light of day.
The findings following that complaint published today. Inspector General Deborah Witzberg says city employees are
obligated by law to cooperate with the work of the Office of Inspector General.
And that the subject of this particular investigation, who we understand to be Lee, did not. The office recommended the subject be terminated and placed on the no hire list. Lee is still working at City Hall and spoke to us over the phone. He claims he made multiple attempts to cooperate with the OIG, some of which are documented in the report, though he added he tried to participate with private counsel and that the OIG rejected his participation.
Only once there was a prospect of discipline and, in fact, termination from a city job did the subject's attorney reach out to us.
Interesting. And what did they say?
That they had intended to reach out sooner.
Is that sufficient?
It is not. If you get pulled over for speeding, you don't get to tell the police officer that you meant to slow down before you got there.
Now, the mayor's office backed Lee in their statement to us. The OIG pointed out that when they made termination recommendations to other city departments, those departments agreed and terminated those employees. But in this case, the mayor's office did not, Joe.
Is it up to the mayor unilaterally?
It is. So the recommendation can be made and they can accept or deny the recommendation. In this case, they were the only agency to do that.
Deny. Sabrina, thank you.
And then you have the notorious gift closet. Did you know that the illustrious sub 10% approval rating mayor is receiving gifts and not accounting for them properly? I mean, isn't he doing everything wrong? Does this surprise you? So the gift closet was a story months ago. You thought it went away. You thought he would have corrected it, but that's what an effective leader would have done. You know, you find out, oh, there's something wrong. Let me correct it. Not if you're this guy, man. Take a look.
Some new allegations tonight of misleading practices surrounding the mayor's gift room. When the Office of the Inspector General wanted to check it out back in January, at first Some new allegations tonight of misleading practices surrounding the mayor's gift room. When the Office of the Inspector General wanted to check it out back in January, at first the mayor's office said no. But now the Inspector General, Deborah Witzberg, says she knows the reason why they said no. NBC5's Charlie Wojciechowski on the story, and he's here now to explain. Charlie?
I will try to, Stefan. When the mayor's office showed off the room where it stores the gifts it received on behalf of the city, it made a big deal about it. Reporters were invited in. A video of the space was posted to YouTube. But according to the OIG, the room never really existed before people started talking about it.
We have a handbag. We have the shoes, the Kate Spade purse.
This is the room the Office of the Inspector General wanted to see in January, filled with shoes, jewelry, sports memorabilia, and T-shirts. All gifts presented to the mayor at various events and received on behalf of the citizens of Chicago. At first, OIG staffers were denied access. Then the TV cameras were welcomed in. Now, an advisory published today by her office, Deborah Witzberg alleges that none of this was here.
When we went to City Hall back in January to conduct that unannounced inspection, the gift room that was eventually displayed on YouTube and made available for press tours, in fact, hadn't even been built yet when we were there in January.
Witzberg says on 2 occasions over the past year, her staffers have been denied access to city premises for the purpose of conducting unannounced inspections.
When something like this happens, I think the question to ask is, does this series of events give us more reason or less reason to trust what happens in City Hall?
But the mayor's office says it acted promptly to modernize long-standing practices by establishing a larger, dedicated space for public access. Since the launch, it says only 2 residents have signed up to view the room, and neither showed up on the viewing day. While reporters are clearly excited about the inventory in the room, a spokesperson says, the public is not. Witzberg says that's not the point.
My fear is that this is one more iteration of a pattern of reflexive hostility to oversight and transparency, and that is a very big problem.
If you want to see what's in that room for yourself, you can sign up for one of the viewing days. There are 4 every year. You can do it on the city's website. Just search for Mayor's Office.
It looks like a closet or maybe your own basement. Is this like stuff just keeps accumulating? What happens to all this stuff? Does any of it, do they get rid of any of it?
They do. To be perfectly honest, 90% of what is in there are T-shirts and hats, and they're gifted to the mayor. And what they do is they take those and they give them to school groups and to kids. So they do empty out this room from time to time. As far as the other more important gifts, they've been staying there for a while.
All right, some big questions from the Inspector General. All right.
Yeah, she is.
Charlie, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
And y'all, let's not forget the fact that the illustrious sub 10% approval rating mayor of Chicago has had to return over $290,000 in illegal campaign donations to his campaign. So I'm gonna run into that report here at the end of the video, y'all. What do you think? What's going on with your boy, y'all? This guy is he the worst? Is he literally the worst mayor in the entire country? I mean, he's sub 10%. You don't really get much lower than that. Oh my gosh, y'all. In Chicago, I mean, but then you had Lori Lightfoot before him. So, I mean, isn't he an upgrade from her? Y'all, let me know what you think about all this down in the comments. I mean, it looks like, listen, last night Democrats won big nationally. Do you think that the illustrious sub 10% approval rating mayor might be able to win re-election? Oh my gosh. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments, y'all. Before you do, please stop, hit the share button, share this video out over email, text message, WhatsApp, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all of your favorite social mediums. And of course, if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. Y'all go check out the Patreon. It's up, it's running. We already have our first members. Become a founder. First 222 members are gonna be our founders. Y'all, I want y'all to rock with me. Click the first link down in the description and I will see you over there. Thank y'all for watching. Love y'all. And we'll see you back in the next one. So here it says the illustrious sub 10% approval rating mayor of Chicago. His campaign last quarter returned $120,000 from 2 political action committees, both led by developers with active city contracts. The latest instances of his political fund giving back money amid ethical and accounting issues. Since being sworn in for the mayor's office, Johnson's campaign has refunded almost $290,000 in contributions, has made several amendments to its reports, and has spent another $120,000 for compliance services. Together, these 2 pots make up for nearly a quarter of his campaign fund's $1.8 million spending since he was sworn in May 2023. Y'all, is there any, I mean, this dude can't even manage his own campaign finance. And he's responsible for managing the money of the whole city, y'all. Is there any wonder that Chicago's currently $1.8 billion budget shortfall when this guy, he's in control. He can't even manage his own little $2 million campaign finance? Chicago, y'all could do better. His political team has previously described the errors as oversight, while arguing it maintained full compliance with campaign finance law. But whether the Johnson campaign's most recent contribution returns were to comply with city ethics laws is unclear. Okay? And finally, check this out. Candidates should not take months to return illegal contributions from city contractors, especially contributions of this size, said Alyssa Kaplan of Reform for Illinois. That essentially lets them use the money like a loan to their campaign, a big benefit they're getting from someone who might expect the favor to be returned later. So think about that, y'all. Look, man, I need some Munagi. All right, man, I'll give you $120,000, but I can't take 100. I can't take money from you, man. Yes, you can. Just take it, use it, and then when you get some more money, pay me my money back. You see how that works? I mean, hey, looks like corruption to me. But y'all let me know in the comments what you think.